Not in a million years did I think I'd be starting a video saying this, but last night, in between the hours of 1 AM and 1:30 AM, one of my closest friends I've known for over 20 years was assaulted in an unprovoked attack, and he's not in a good way. It's probably left him with serious life-changing injuries and probably going to be disabled now for the rest of his life. Totally lost for words, don't really know what to say. I did get some footage. Viewer discretion is advised. The next few clips do contain scenes of a graphic nature. Due to bad language, the original audio was muted on the next clips. I woke up at about 1:30 because I heard some strange noises outside, only to find that Lenny had been attacked by the rats. They've absolutely devastated his legs. His feet have been completely chewed off. At this point, I was a bit panicked, so I took him off the rods, picked up all of his limbs, or at least what was left, rushed into the bivvy, grabbed the first aid kit. I knew in here that there was some finger dressings I could use, and these would be perfect for this kind of injury. So, after a few minutes of panic, yes, first aid applied, rushed him up to the emergency hospital. The doctors wouldn't treat him at first because they said we don't treat leprechauns, but after some serious convincing, they took him in and started the operation straight away. I stayed up at the hospital till the doctors had let me see him, but after a serious operation like that, he was in so much pain and still heavily sedated, he wasn't making much sense. Before he passed out, he did say to me, "Finish the story." So I've come back down to the res, I've got the rods out, and we're going to do exactly that. Lenny, this one's dedicated to you. My name's Lee, and welcome to Bedtime Stories, Carp Adventures. On the way back from the hospital, I was really hungry, so I called into the Big M and got myself an HM, and it's just fate, it must be, because in the bottom of that box was Little Miss Sunshine. And yes, Lenny, you can never be replaced, but Little Miss Sunshine is going out on the rods. Let's see if Little Miss Sunshine can bring me the same luck as Lenny did. Just want to talk about a couple of mistakes I made last time. The first mistake I made was putting the bivvy up and not putting the ground sheet down, because it got so flooded, all of my tackle got absolutely soaking wet, and it took ages dry out when I got it home. The second mistake I made was not bringing enough towels, so I brought 3 this time. Hopefully that'll be enough. Like a dumbass, I forgot my wheelbarrow handles for the second time. Now I'm all set up. I'm using a bait boat with the deeper attached to the back of it. Just going to run it all the way through the swim, see if it'll pick up anything on the deeper. There we go, 2 shoals of fish. That may be carp. I do believe that location is crucial, even more so in cold water. So wasting no time, I've tied up 3 solid PVA bags, and them are going out in the boat on them spots. Locating the carp in cold water is absolutely crucial, and I'm very confident in those spots there. Here's a quick tip for you. If you use a deeper, make sure you use one of these to give it a real good dry after every individual use, because as long as those sensors are wet or slightly damp, your deeper will always be connected to your device. If you dry it, the battery life will last a lot longer. I leave it wrapped up in the towel till I need it next time. After I caught so many bream on the last session, the bailiffs decided it was a good idea to bring me a keep net down to put all of the bream in. So a fella called Steve came down and dropped me a keep net off. Shout out to Steve. Nice one, mate. Was the first run of the session a bream or a carp? It was a slimy bream. So I had a quick chat with Little Miss Sunshine about what the crack was. Just finished tying up a fresh solid PVA bag and I was about to get the left rod out, but then I had a drop back on the middle rod. Give you Little Miss Sunshine a prep talk, paid off, first carp in the net, and it looks like a good one, so I popped him in the waistling while I get me scales. Love that noise. There we go, just under £20, £19 14 ounce. Little Miss Sunshine doing the job well, and I really think after last night Lenny I'd be chuffed too. Proper result. Nice scaly pattern on it as well. Let's take a quick look at the other side. There we go. An absolute banging core. First Carp of the session, and I'm well chuffed. I've wanted to say this in the last 5 videos, but I just keep forgetting. You can now follow me on Instagram at Bedtime Stories Carp Ventures. I had that one just in time because bang on, just like the forecast said, here comes the wind and rain. I guess there's only so much little Miss Sunshine can do. She's doing her best. While I've got the kettle on and making a brew, I've rang up to the A&E to get an update on how Lenny is doing. They've admitted him into a ward and he's been in a lot of pain, so they've got him on morphine as well, being heavily sedated throughout the day, so in and out of consciousness. They've done some serious surgery on his feet and legs. I can't help but think it's my fault. If I'd have woke up sooner, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Woke up to this beautiful rainbow, and it's strange because on the day that Lenny the leprechaun came into my life, he brought a rainbow too.
Another carp in the net. Another good size, and as you can see, absolutely nailed. They are right in the middle of the lip. Okay, scales have been zeroed. It weighs bang on 22 pound. Result. Oh, now this one is truly something special. Let's take a look. Check out the scale pattern on that. 22 pound. What a corker. Beautiful. Look at it. Cold water, winter carp. What an absolute beautiful carp. Made up with this one. Proper chuffed. If you enjoyed the video, by the way, don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notifications, and then you'll be up to date with all of the latest bedtime stories, carp adventures. But just look at that. Amazing carp. Proper scales. Probably one of the nicest ones I've caught out of the res actually. Yeah, well chuffed. Well chuffed. Cold water winter carp fishing at its best. And there we go, 2 cold water carp on the bank. Now, you might be asking, how am I doing it? What's the secret to my success? Well, it's not really a secret because I'm about to tell you. When I've sent the boat out, I've found a shoal of fish. They may be bream, they may be carp. But what I have done is put some marker braid around my main line so as I know how far to send the boat out each time. And then that way, I'm very accurate in getting the rigs back out on the right spot. Okay, so Steve's come down to empty the keep net, and yeah, not getting rid of 22 bream like I did on the last session. We're getting rid of 4, but that's 4 less I'll have to contend with next time. Truffles come see what's going on as well. Yeah, they'll be going
onto another home. Steve's done me a massive favour, and the rest of the carp anglers. And on his way back, he's brought me a bacon barn. Oh, with a nice hot coffee. Steve, you're an absolute legend. Cheers, mate. As it's nice and dry, I've taken Truffle out for a quick 10-minute walk. As you know, she loves playing with Scabby Fox, so I'm going to keep Truffle entertained for the next 5 minutes, then tie up some fresh solid PVA bags and get them rods back out. When you're fishing for carp in cold water, you've got to remember that carp are cold-blooded, and as the water temperature reduces, so does their metabolism, therefore eating less food. Fancied looking at a different setup tonight, so I've switched the Delkin lights on, red, white and blue. It's been pure time since I've used them like that. It always reminds me of eyes staring back at me. Despite it being a nice, dry, warm, sunny day today, out there, it's dropping down to -1 tonight, so I've had to put my big coat on. I'm pulling this face and doing this update for one reason and one reason alone. It actually smells like something's died outside, or the guy in the bivvy next to me has just taken a real big crap, because it's drifting right in my bivvy and straight up my nose, and I nearly swore then, and it stinks, to say the least. It's bad. The bailiff's just been round checking that everybody's got the night permit. Now Zedheads, they're not just checking for your permit and spying on you, see what you're doing. They're actually coming round and checking on your well-being and your health, because if the unforeseen accidents happen and they're the people that find you, well, you'll be grateful that they were walking around. So, big shout out to all the bailiffs I've seen while I've been fishing down the res, and thank you for the time and effort you put into doing your job. Much appreciated. Seems like every time I've come fishing, it's been smashing it down. This is the first opportunity I've had to stretch my legs out without them getting soaked. I knew the rats would be back. This time I was waiting for them, and I off. I thought the rats were back, but it's just the swan. And it's freezing again. No rats will be getting in my bivvy tonight. I'm on proper patrol. Well, what can I say? A very cold morning, very chilly. Actually got my gloves on. Full moon last night. It's said that if you go fishing on a full moon, you're more than likely catch carp. Well, I didn't catch anything. So, round about 1 o'clock, I jumped into my sleeping bag, and that was it. That was me done. So, woke up and yes, started fresh today, but first I'm gonna get a brew because it is cold this morning. The reason I want to bring more towels with me is so I can keep all of my rigs dry before I put them into my solid PVA bags. How much bait have I used over the last few sessions? Well, I'm just coming up to the end of a full bag of spod and PVA mix. You're not being very friendly, are you now? Laughing too. Yeah, you might like Scabby Fox, but needs to go in the washing machine. In this video, I've talked about some of the silly, simple mistakes that I've been making. But in the next video, I'm going to be talking about the mistakes you may be making. It's going to be a controversial one.